Yeah, just when you think you got it going here. All right. Little multi-purpose stream today because I'm waiting for some idiot to get out of the handicap spot out front. Okay, let's see if we can do without the VPN for a bit. But, and I think I should have laid on the horn and he was pulling up with it. Hey, asshole, you don't belong there. But the way he pulled in also is he's like, he's not going to be there long term. So he's going to go out there and see the man sitting out there with the handicap placard hanging in the, hanging in the air and say, hello, you ain't got one of those, get out. But more Batmobile stuff showed up. And amongst the things, license plate for the Batmobile. That's going to get tacked up on the wall, probably somewhere back there. So, put that there for now. Now, today we're going to be working on, well, let's see, there's another wheel goes on there, and also part of the chassis and front suspension. We're not going to do that here because we don't need long passages of neither my head down. Yeah, staring at my groin bald spot here. More history thing out. So it's going to be suspension, chassis, bolting the engine down. That's the main thing. I've been holding back on some of this stuff because the engine is kind of jostling around. Hey, Daniel. And as such, now that I can get the engine actually fastened down to the part. Yeah, I got the front brakes, another wheel. And yeah, nice big heavy cross member beams here. Another wheel. So it'll be two wheels at least. Put this down here. Put that back in there. So the box doesn't fall over the back. And yeah, I'm a couple things behind on other bills because this is going to be. I think it's 21 through 26. Three, two. But getting into a little bit of stuff that came up yesterday, but I was just too wiped out to deal with it. A couple of things from fan-sided. Little thing from Rachel Carrington. Star Trek Discovery shouldn't be penalized for taking risks. No, we're not. They don't penalize it for taking risks. Every show's got to take a bit of a risk. What they're being penalized is for being bad. For being stupid. For getting these cardboard supposed characters. Only most of them, and there's not a drip of logic amongst a lot of them. It's supposed to be science fiction. There's no science at all. The science that's in there is laughable. It makes Lost in Space look like Cosmos. And it's just, and also wholesale ripping off of other writers, them just strip mining Star Trek for what they want. And no acknowledgement whatsoever of the writers came before them. Fans didn't like, but that doesn't make it overall bad. Yes, it does. It is an overall bad show. It was badly written, badly characterized. That cast is the least of the issues. You had a decent cast there, but they're given garbage to work with. And it's none of these characters. Let me tell you something. I would rather hang out with any other characters from lower decks. I can identify them. I think, Boimler and I are probably the closest. Rutherford, we're fun. Never interesting relationship with Mariner. That'd be kind of drinking buddy type thing. And of course, Tendi would be full on carrying a torch for her. But none of these characters, they're nobody in there I'd like to hang around with, frankly. And that's the thing. You about Voyager. And one thing that left out is originally they were going to have Nick Locarno, but they figured no, because we saw what Locarno did, and that makes it kind of despicable, and we know no one's going to forgive him. So they wanted a Nick Locarno type character where he did something bad, but we don't really know what it is. It makes it easier to forgive. If we don't know what it was, it didn't affect us personally, yeah, it's fine. But the fact is, this Locarno did some crap and really pulled down Wesley. Wesley was still a pretty light character at that point, and caused the guy. I don't really know it all. If you hadn't had the idiotic pilot and all the crap, and they blew it in the first 5 minutes, and they just kept on crapping all over Star Trek and everything they did, the way they did the Klingons. The Vulcan hello, bullshit! Absolute bullshit! How they, say, oh, we did it by opening fire. No, you didn't. That's not the way the Vulcans would have dealt with it. If that was Brian Fuller's thing, thank God he didn't, because who knows what would have happened if they left him in charge. But above all, we got to visit new world, discover new technology, bullshit technology, mushroom drive. Come on, that mycelial network. Mycelial network is real, but it's terrestrial. It's an underground thing, between other funguses, other mushrooms. It is not interstellar. You cannot travel the universe, and so is an infinite improbability drive powered by spores. That is bullshit. You have lost the entire plot at that point. You have relinquished any claim of being science fiction. You're not even good fantasy at that point. No, it wasn't all great. It wasn't entertaining at all, watching these idiots bumble around and sleep about the finish of the time. And say, how about somebody give a command? That's why Pike actually acted like a fucking captain. Anson Mount realized he was in a Star Trek show. He's a captain. He needs to act like one. But it wasn't all bad. Yes, it was. Either, especially if you continue on past for the first season. But you can't get past the first season. What's the point? You've driven away, and the people are stuck around past that thing, either for the sake of review bombing, or just you have no taste. You have no discernible taste whatsoever if you're actually watching that crap and enjoying it. I'm sorry. And you're trying to put, first season, which was the Middle East, we can see. But hadn't that been true of several Star Trek series? Not really. The original series' first season was probably arguably some of the best things of the entire franchise. It was in the first season of the original series. First season, Next Gen had some issues, but there's still some damn good stuff in that too. DS9 started off with a bang. And Voyager had its other issues, and the Enterprise wasn't that bad. Okay. like most of the modern shows, they're not based on Star Trek. They're based on the myths and tropes associated with Star Trek. Kirk was not a womanizing flouter of the rules and disobeying orders. No, he was a very by-the-book officer in the show. Yeah, he liked the ladies, but he wouldn't sleep on the new one every damn week. I went through all 79 episodes, and it's a long time ago on the AOL chat boards. Pull it out. There's only like 7 times you can confirm the man got lucky. Most of that was flirtation or something that happened back in the academy. You know, most of the time, not really. Okay. The only time he was in bed with a green girl was with Marta, and she was trying to kill him. She came on to him. He was already in bed and just passed out. So a lot of it is playing to the stereotypes of Star Trek, not to actual Star Trek. It's the myths of it. Like Spock has no emotion. No, Vulcans have very intense emotions. That's why they've gone the route with logic and rationality to suppress those emotions. That teaser trailer they did for season 3 of Strange New Worlds, that was idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life associated with Star Trek. It's something everyone's all strict and they even got the hair. And like, what the hell? Did you guys even watch the damn show? Where the hell are you pulling this shit from? You don't know a goddamn thing about it. They got pointy ears and they don't show their emotions. It's not because they ain't got them. But no, Discovery is not condemned for taking risks. Discovery is condemned for being an idiotic, stupid show and an insult to the entire franchise or to televised science fiction in general. Well, all right, that should be dead and buried as soon as possible. All right, another one. This is by Chad Porto. No one seemed to hate Star Trek more than Gene Roddenberry. All right, yeah, he did take a crap on it. Let's see. When it comes to Star Trek, many people hold creator Gene Roddenberry up to as his end-all, be-all figure. They celebrate him and lean on his beliefs when defending or criticizing shows or films. It's always been a fascinating thing to behold, as many of these fans have no idea just how Roddenberry hated his own creation. All right, when he had complete control over the franchise, this wasn't the case. It was when the franchise started to leave him behind that Roddenberry grew resentful of the series that he started. Maybe the most famous story, Roddenberry's own juvenile hatred, was that of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. All right. I read the interview at Starlog back in the day. His complaints about Star Trek II had to do with the way the characters were being portrayed. When the SETI eel falls out of Chekhov's ear. His main complaint was Kirk, get the Mercury's fake like an old lady and stomping a spider. That's not the character. That's not the character we spent 3 years building up. This is a new life form. Study this. And what the hell is it? No, he's zap it. And I got a big problem. It's like you're shooting a phaser. That thing is not falling very far from Chekhov's ear. Okay, it's laying right next. And you're shooting a phaser next to Chekhov's head. That was dumb. Like I said, I got my problem. Again, one of my problems parallel with Roddenberry. It's like it's visually exciting stuff, but there's very dumb things in there. Okay, and it hasn't aged well either. One of the things it said that Ricardo Montalban really saves their ass with his performance because a lot of the problem with the dialogue was really cheesy. I'll chase him around the moons of Nibia and cross the man. That was a little over the top, And he really think about killing off Spock. No, I think the thing was Spock would figure out some way to do it without sacrificing herself. And also, and problems that's not how ships work. But again, that's. And let's see. So much so the creator tried to, he leaked the script. He would leak scripts, and arguably the best. It's coming after the motion picture, which was again a very cerebral, sedate movie, comparatively speaking. It wasn't the only time Roddenberry snubbed his nose at other. When Next Gen came along, an upstart named Ronald D. Moore made a name for himself as writer with the series. So, whoops, here we go. What do we got here? Hello.
Dweeb.
Yeah. And I was going to do this yesterday, but I was too tired.
Her favorite buddy is still here most every day now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
how's she feeling, by the way?
She's getting better, And then they did a little question and answer thing with the people about what she likes to do and setting up physical stuff, and then therapy.
Good.
But then we'll figure out just how long they plan on keeping her, because we're still in the figuring things out phase.
You want to see how much stuff I got done with my beading recently?
Okay.
1.
Wow. Okay.
2.
Mm-hmm.
I got this whole set done, so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the kitties to go for the next set.
Mm-hmm.
3.
All right.
This one is, by the way, a 6-piece set I finished in the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
4. I think my favorite in the set, honestly. 5.
All right.
And 6.
Oh, Bundy.
I have a feeling your wife would go crazy for this set.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, I'm getting tons of diamond art gifts from people, but I am actually making them.
Yeah.
Then I have the one I finished the other day, which is in a book. I got a bunch of diamond art storage books, and I'm putting both finished and unfinished in the books in different ways.
Okay.
Finished ones are moving into books to store for future views or sales or other stuff. The unfinished ones are going into a book lined up in order, so I can just pull them out and work on them, and they're already pressed flat and not rolled and all that, and easier to keep track of.
Okay.
And harder for these shits to break.
Yeah.
Why do I get this look from him like, you love me?
Mm-hmm.
I do love you. Come here, you little shit.
No, just before I left, one of the nurses had brought a little Chihuahua dog there, and I got to kind of meet him. He was very skittish, but it's Chihuahua. Now maybe at some point they'll take her back, and then
I know that's a sweet moment, but with how many people have serious pet allergies, if it's not a service animal and you're bringing it into hospitals, usually you're just running more risks of causing other patients allergic reactions.
Well, it's a rehab thing, I think.
It's still. I have a problem with that. If they're going to do that, it should be a specific wing of the hospital, separate air system, because hospitals are a place where people are supposed to go to be safe medically for recovery.
Yeah.
And I've nothing against the nurse or her Chihuahua or anything. It's just I know this is a common practice, but I know a lot of people who've ended up sicker in the hospital because of people doing it too, both with cats and dogs. Bring them in.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a separate rehab facility in a residential area. It's not really a hospital, like pretty open air.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little doggy. But
this thing, look at him.
Yeah.
As soon as I pick him up, what's he do? Wraps around my arm and just purrs.
Mm-hmm.
I did post several of my older photos over on the.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
Yeah, you could probably go and help share some of them since I have almost no subs over there yet.
Let me get back to my rant here.
Yeah.
But well, my stream. Okay. Wasn't a fan of Moore's episode Family, which went right after Best of Both Worlds, and then Picard had to go home for a while to recoup of them. And apparently he didn't particularly like the way that Picard and his brother interacted, and the rivalry there. But the quote from the time, Gene hates it. I had my version of this meeting. I had my version of this meeting, not by myself. It's with me and Rick Berman and Michael Piller. We all go to Gene's office. Gene goes through the whole thing about how much he hates the script, says terrible things about Picard's parents. These brothers don't exist in the 24th century. There's such profound personal animosities. This would never happen. I don't buy any of this. This is not Star Trek episode. There's no action in this show. There's no Jeopardy. We can't do this show. And it's like they kind of sent Ron out, and then Rick and Michael sat on Roddenberry for a while and got So thanks for the fans of this episode. Showrunners Rick Berman and Michael Pelly handled Roddenberry and had the episode greenlit. By this time, Roddenberry was less involved in the series and had far less power. Simple conversation was likely had where the two men made it clear they were doing the episode. After all, the studio was no longer backing Roddenberry as the head of the franchise. By most accounts, he was little more than a consultant on the show after the first season or so. That's arguable.
Which
That
I would say, yeah, I have torn views on that statement. Yes, he did not run as much of it as he did originally. Yeah, I put you back in the window and you come straight back over here. He's like, you were giving me attention and you stopped.
Yeah. No one gave you the day off. No, there was. Whoop.
Yeah, he's trying to climb me and I'm trying to tick. This is not working.
Yeah.
Hey, Rio.
No, Roddenberry wasn't doing day-to-day show ready, but they still had to run stuff by him. Okay.
Well, even when they did like Andromeda and Earth Final Conflict and stuff, parts of those shows were stuff that he wrote before he died.
Oh, yeah.
So he wasn't just a figurehead on any of his shows.
Yeah. And also, I think it was something else. I think it was maybe the podcast thing where it mentioned DS9. Although Gene wouldn't approve of it. Gene was involved in the early development of DS9.
I think
that's something that doesn't go around much, but yeah, he was very much discussing it.
There were comments from him about you were supposed to balance the amount of serious episodes with the amount of lighthearted episodes that didn't need to be continued from the previous one. Yeah. I don't think he would have liked how far they went into the Dominion War and how little other episodes were around it at the end. Not that he wouldn't have liked the Dominion War arc, but they went too intense into it with nothing else. There was only a couple lighthearted in that entire couple seasons. And that I think he would have disliked. Not the Dominion War or all of that stuff, but just that they didn't do enough of the hope episodes and the fun episodes around it.
A lot of it depends on if we're talking the Gene Roddenberry of 1967 or Junior of 1987.
From the comments I've seen from both eras, I think he would have still preferred them to have a few more of the lighthearted episodes mixed in and do a little more of the other kinds of stories too. Not that the people who say he wouldn't have approved of the Dominion War or that arc at all, I also disagree with it. It's like, no, he obviously liked it.
He actually said, one of the complaints he had about war shows back in the day is they tend to sanitize war.
Yeah.
They made it, no, he would have gone full Saving Private Ryan if he had the chance.
And thank you, Real, by the way. See, that's the thing. I think he would have, I think if he'd been involved more with it, then they still would have done the Dominion War. I think a lot of the darker episodes they still would have done. But I think they would have pushed for longer seasons and they would have done more fun episodes mixed in and stuff like that. Balance it. And I think Bob just froze. I know, Panther. I know. You're my baby, right? Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, just. So let's give Bob a sec to see if he froze up there. Well, this cat just sucks up attention like a little sieve. See, black cats are so beautiful and they're so fun, but they blend in so well. It's hard to get really good photos and videos of them. You kind of need like a really bright white room in order to be able to get pictures and videos of a black cat.
I think as Richard Arnold said that, it's a bad whether how much Roddenberry would approve the way. He would have approved the way it ended, though, with Odo extending a hand of friendship and ending it that way.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of it he absolutely would have been good with. I think there's a few places I think that they lost sight of some of how he believed in writing and stuff. But I think generally he would have approved of it. I think they just needed to mix in a little more of the other, maybe try to make that 3 instead of 2 seasons and actually have a little more complexities fleshed out, have a few more fun episodes, have a few more episodes that deal with other things besides just the war. And I think Bob froze again. Oh, it's going to be one of these days. To be fair, most everyone knows my viewpoint of Star Trek is my order of favorites in the shows ended up going the order that they were produced in. That was not intentionally. I'm an original series girl.
I missed half.
Of course he did. But up until basically into Enterprise, I could not get into Enterprise. I could not like Enterprise, but it's still more Trek than the shit that they were trying to make after it when the new Trek era began.
Okay. Are we back yet?
Yeah, I think you're back now.
Okay. Well, I missed about half of that with the series order and all that.
Yeah. Well, what I was getting at on the whole thing is that I think a lot of people on both sides of the argument over DS9 kind of get sidelined by either they're really intensively for the whole war saga or really intensively against it. And it's like, I don't think he would have been either. And in fact, the episode and the statement that Kira makes, I think would have still happened under Gene because it showed the flaws in her character and he did not sanitize his cast that much. But that's why I don't like her character too. Her sitting there talking to somebody about basically causing him disfigurement by bombing a place where he was an innocent civilian. And her basically going, it doesn't matter if they were there, they weren't innocent, they deserved it. What? You know? Poor Bob. Poor Bob.
Okay, this is arguing against doing the Fortnite later. So
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said.
Certainly not streaming it. Yeah.
The part that I hated about Kira Nerys showed the flaws in her. And even though I didn't like her character overall, I think Gene would have supported that as showing that A, freedom fighters are not all innocent angels. No. And B, terrorists can be seen as freedom fighters and still be terrorists and do evil things. And be unrepentant, even when they supposedly change later.
Okay.
Because she was unrepentant about bombing civilians. But it's an interesting arc. And to those seeing me munch a little bit, please be patient with me. I kind of had a crown rebuilt today, and I kind of can't chew much. Me have crown rebuilt. My mouth hurts.
Okay.
That was this morning.
Yeah, something to keep in mind. Ro Laird and the Bajorans were created while Roddenberry was still around. It was kind of his idea to bring in, because people so misread his idea about, he was a hardcore atheist. No, he wasn't. He had some out there ideas regarding spirituality and the supernatural, but he wasn't.
He fell more to a lot of the belief structure that actually Madeleine L'Engle did, except for she went more Christian with it. It was the viewpoint that all religions have some keys to the truth of the universe. No. Poor Bob. I've usurped his stream now. Not intentionally, mind you. It's about the only thing I can get down right now is a few of the white cheddar pork rinds, just kind of mushing them on the other side because the tooth is completely set, but the whole gums and mouth are hurting. And it's nothing I did wrong. There was a slight flaw in it that just apparently got worse over time, and the crown snapped in half. So I had to get replaced right away, so it went damage the tooth under it. And still a bit heavily sedated to keep my tics and everything under control. I was kind of sedate. And to be fair, everything's better than Rings of Power almost. That was such a bastardization of a good book series.
This is good. The second I start talking, it starts fitzing out on me. All right. But no, the Bajorans were Gene's idea.
I know that,
and they've been talking. And again, when they're working up DS9, Berman was talking to Gene, and he had his. So there's elements of Gene run.
well, there was talk when they were first working on DS9. Were they going to create a new character, or were they going to use Ro Laren? And honestly, I would have preferred Ro Laren myself. Nothing against Nana Visitor; she's a great actress, and from everything I can tell, an actually sweet person.
Yeah,
but I liked Ro Laren as a character more than Kira Nerys.
Yeah.
I think the character just was a little better in how they wrote it.
I like Kira. I like Kira. Okay. Second I saw her, yeah.
I like the attitude and the in-your-face personality. I don't like a lot of the things they made her say and stand for throughout the show. One moment.
Two, three, four. Come on, settle. Okay. Okay. Now I think they did better with Kira because it gave them room to create a new character and do a whole back instead of deal with Ro and all the back stuff with her.
I liked the character when I first saw it, but as she said more and more things, I lost a lot of respect. And every time I try to explain this to him, he cuts out. Holy shit, this is annoying. Ay, ay, ay. So off the mic goes again, obviously.
Get back to the unboxing. See the little license plate yet?
Cool. Oi. Sorry, I'm just a little tired. Poor Bob. Poor Bob. Poor Bob. And I'm sitting here trying to put my drink together. Bye.
There we go. Anyway, back to my earlier unboxing. I never saw that, but look at this. I got the license plate to the Batmobile.
Yeah, I saw the license. Well, I went off camera. Try to save you any bandwidth I can. Yeah. Mm, this is going to be horrible, painful.
It's also them turn the camera off. Now, Roddenberry's ideas about spirituality and such is like, really it's something I'd like to pick. Yes, at all. His main problem is organized religion.
Mm-hmm.
Who you're ever going to get about his thoughts on the whole thing is Picard's little death in Where Silence Has Lease.
Yeah.
In fact,
You can blame me for your internet.
I was having weird things in it, but yeah, I mean, they even had Patrick Stewart read that at Roddenberry's funeral. Well, fill some time. There we go. Oh, will you stop it? Back to what the hell is this shit? Never been a problem with this stupid website.
Boy, poor Bob.
Okay.
Poor Bob.
People are idiots. All right. Yeah, whatever. Just give me the fucking website, you weirdo. Come on.
Poor Bob. Poor Bob.
Discussion. That's for another time. Probably by myself. So. All right. Well, we've been there for 42 minutes here. Then again, trying to stream Fortnite right now would be an exercise of futility, the way this thing's acting.
Poor Bob.
Oh, well. Go ahead and get back on camera for a bit. So yes, for your weirdo white knights trying to chime in, I was born in 64. Do the math. I'm 60. Okay.
You're old. Why? How old did they claim you are?
Come on, damn it, settle in. Okay. So let's see. Just shut that off there, man. So I think before anything goes weird here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug on this.
Too late.
Well, any weirder. So I think let's find a decent closing thing. Come on, what's that? Well, yeah, we'll just do a general. We'll talk at you later, kids.
That's all, folks.
Poor Bob.